Welcome in. We are going to deep dive and dissect the psychological so that we can stay at the forefront of your emotional state. And before I opened this, I definitely found some depth in this reading, and I really wanted to deliver this message with so much compassion. But you have entered a completion point. Your cycle has completely ended. And in fact, the only thing holding you back is guilt. What is guilt? The ego is a negative and a positive polar, but traditionally, ego is self-proclamation. This is my life, and I'm going to take it back. And ego activates usually between the ages of 16 and 18. And this is when a child starts to rebel against everything they ever knew. So, right, they start disobeying and staying out late and doing crazy stuff with their friends, right? Because they're creating equilibrium. They're seeing what works and what doesn't work. It's like being a mad scientist. You're a human, so you have to get dirty and roll in the mud and do things that you're not supposed to do. Test the boundaries. And if we feel bad or we feel shame or we feel guilt, that holds us back. I don't want to make my mom mad or make my dad mad. I don't want to get in trouble. Those are all the things that suppress us. There should never be a potential possibility that you would get into trouble. That's not, first off, good parenting guidance. And life is what is ultimately going to teach you. If you rob a bank, you're going to go to prison. If you steal from a store, you're going to go to jail. If you speed down the highway and hit another car, it's because you weren't following, whatever rules there were. So we learn through life experience. We should never be punished by a person. And in fact, the only way you get punished by a person is if you're mean to them, you don't get to talk to them, right? So cause and effect. And it's important to know that you did what you did because that's what you knew how to do. But when you come to a completion point, that means a cycle has ended. You are ready to step free of that cycle. And the old cycle has people, places, things, ideas, concepts, a list. It is time to throw your list away. You're being split. So it's like you're on the middle of the bridge. You're bridging the gap between your past and your future. And you are ready to move into vision, moving forward into your future. But something in your past has got you attached. So today we're going to take that attachment away. We're going to clear out the guilt. It doesn't happen instantly, but we're definitely going to see where the guilt is. We're going to deep dive into that guilt. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this Oso Zen Tarot, one of my favorite. This is States of Consciousness. It really does deep dive and explain why we're in the state that we're in and give you insight. So again, honored to be here. And for those of you that are new, my name is Bobby. I'm a Reiki practitioner, psychic medium, and twin flame facilitator. And we're going to deep dive into what does it even mean to feel guilty? What does it even mean? Like, how often do we sit back and contemplate and define the words that we've been given or the feelings? Like, if you had a parent that felt guilty all the time, that influences our vibrational frequency. And then we start vibrating at that frequency and naturally step into the idea of feeling guilty. So we're releasing you of that. You don't have anything left to be attached to. And so guilt is one of the most destructive emotions in which we can get caught. If we have wronged another or gone against our own truth, then of course we will feel bad. But to let ourselves be overwhelmed with guilt is to invite a migraine. We end up surrounded by nagging clouds of self-doubt and feelings of worthlessness, to the point where we cannot see any of the beauty and joy that life is trying to offer us, which right now life is like, hey, I got stuff for you. You've worked so hard to get here. But when we punish ourselves for our failures by feeling guilty, we can get locked into a cycle of despair and hopelessness that robs us of all clarity about ourselves and the situations we encounter. You are absolutely okay as you are. And it is absolutely natural to go astray from time to time. Just learn from it, move on, and use the lesson not to make the same mistake again. You know, I have 4 boys, and I found myself apologizing. There were questions they asked, and I didn't yet have the answers to, because I didn't have the answers. There were times I didn't show up when I felt like I needed to show up, but not showing up empowered them. It caused them to expand their mind and become independent, sovereign individuals. There was a time, I've been on this journey for 18 years, and there was a 3-year gap, 3-year period where I was completely isolated. I was diving deep into my psychological and going through the sacred fires, and my boys impressed me. They were absolutely miracles. So remember that. Wherever you weren't, it's because you weren't needed. But you, in your mind, might have created a story traditionally saying that you should have been there. But there isn't any such thing. You're in perfect alignment. So this moment, this here now, is forgotten when you start thinking in terms of achieving something. When the achieving mind arises, you lose contact with the paradise you are in. This is one of the most liberating approaches. It liberates you right now. Forget about sin and forget about saintliness. Both are stupid. I love that. There was a point where I had to let go of my innocence. I found there was a subtle energy where I just wanted to be good. This innocence that I was holding on to, and I like to say, screw that innocence. I'm a human. I want to be loud and wild, and I want to touch and smell and feel and taste, just all the things. The sinner is feeling guilty, hence his joy is lost. How can you enjoy life if you are continuously feeling guilty? If you are continuously going to the church to confess that you have done this wrong and that wrong, and wrong and wrong and wrong, and your whole life seems to be made of sins. How can you live joyously? It becomes impossible to delight in life. You become heavy, loaded. Guilt sits on your chest like a rock. It crushes you. It does not allow you to dance. How can you dance? How can guilt dance? How can guilt sing? How can guilt love? How can guilt live? So, the one who thinks he is doing something wrong is guilty, burdened, dead before death, has already entered the grave. Take a deep breath. So there you have it. And I really do recommend this book, The Four Agreements. This book really takes you outside of these lower vibrational frequencies, gets you more into your wholeness and understanding. It's not about anybody. It's about you. It's about you. So we're going to pull out some cards here, see how we can clear these blockages with guilt. These are the karma cards. Set healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries protect your energy. Stand firm in what you need to thrive. There's another angle of guilt. Did I stand up for myself? Did I show up for myself? Did I follow through? Did I continue on the path? That is a huge, right? That's huge. Set healthy boundaries. If my bathroom isn't clean, I am not cleaning your bathroom. That is one thing I would think about. If somebody asked me for support in some way, I was like, am I supporting myself fully? Is my house clean? Is my bathroom clean? Are my T's crossed? Are my I's dotted? Is my tank full? Are I have food in the house? Am I fed? Am I taken care of? Before I leave my own Merkaba star, my own container, I need to make sure that it is solid. The structure is solid. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Face the consequences. That's a big one. So your actions ripple beyond the moment. Stand in your truth, accept what follows, and let it guide your growth. Remember, unconditional love. Stand fully in your truth. Accept the consequences. Whatever the consequences are, the truth will set you free. It'll set your heart free. It'll open you up to a whole new idea. Okay? So, next card. Heal the attachment wound. Your worth is not tied to being needed. Let go of proving your value. Okay. So let's say you want to move to a different state, and your family members live in the state that you currently live in, and you want to move to a different state. You got to go. Maybe it's like back in the traditional days, the man of the house would travel to go find new land. Maybe that's the cycle breaker. Maybe you're the cycle breaker. Maybe going and moving to that new state or going and getting that new job is going to inspire the closest intimate connections that you have to also evolve and grow. You are the one at the top of the mountain. And I did find that I did have guilt because I was the one. I was the one to make it happen. I was the one to set the tone. I was the one to do it first. I was the one to discern and could see to make the right decisions and choices. And I did hold on to this guilt. But as soon as I released it and I started following my own calling, they started to follow effortlessly. I thought it was like, oh, if I just would have done this the entire time. Okay, so we're going to look at what you're surrendering right now. Okay, we're going to set healthy boundaries. We're facing the consequences. Cool, easy. And then you're healing that attachment wound by facing your consequences. And be honest. Be so honest. Tell your truth. That's what honesty is. It's telling your truth. Okay. Surrender non-action. Surrender the idea that you can fix someone. Comparisons with other people. Fear of change. And the wonder of all. So I'm looking at what blocks you may have. First off, Spirit is asking you to do nothing. Just allow. We're not forcing, pushing, pulling, running, chasing. Just allowing. Surrender the idea that you can fix someone. You can't force a man against their will. They have to choose that on their own. That's a choice that they have to make by themselves. And they'll make it if they can see what it looks like on the other side. We often keep our focus on the lower frequencies, which then cause us to mirror and reflect the lower frequencies. I always say keep your eyes on the Creator, keep your eyes on Spirit, keep your eyes on God, and whoever is ready will follow. They will follow. You are not compared to anybody else. Don't compare yourself to other people. Comparison is supposed to be, does this color look better or does this color look better? We were never supposed to compare ourselves to others. That's unhealthy, toxic energy. The second you start comparing yourself to somebody, it's almost like it paralysis. It paralyzes you, especially if you're not where you want to be. And if there is somebody that you admire, that's because they carry traits and qualities that you want to cultivate within yourself. And so use it as a tool. I love the way, Angela, holds herself. I love her confidence. That's because that is available for you. And she is influencing you to hone your own. So this is a starseed oracle, weight of the world. So boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Okay, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So this is weight of the world. Weight of the world. Let it go. Okay, take a deep breath. That was the perfect card. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's. To stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders. To put on your own oxygen mask. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by a state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to the nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, or deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner will is full, you can face the state of the world and care. And that is confirmation of the release of energy. So great job. I'm going to look at your vitals really quick just to see how we've done. This is very, very good. You're releasing the weight of the world. You're in completion. You're no longer split. Clarity is coming in. Okay, so your energy is enlightenment right now, so great job. Emotional is in service to the self. Look at that. It's like serving your lower and your higher self are in service to each other. Mental, isolated, so good. You're pulling back your energy, pulling back your power right now. In the physical, you're impartial, so it's just a matter of creating balance and equilibrium. Again, another completion card. You're in a state of completion. This is a beautiful energy. You're mourning the death of your lower self, of your past self. You're in mourning. And when we're in mourning, we tend to drop into lower and higher frequencies. Aren't negative or positive. Lower frequencies is where we enter states of sadness so that we can see what's in there, what's running in the subconscious, right? It's like when you move into an alchemization season where you don't feel good and you're lying in bed and you're wishing you had energy and you're wishing, right? That's all resistance. What I want to do is I want to know what thoughts are cycling through my mind in that lower frequency so that I can start clearing and dissolving those out. Soulmate, so now you are connecting to your intimate self, so great job. And acceptance. Nice. That's way better than the beginning of this reading. And that's what these readings are, so powerful and so important. Teamwork makes the dream work. This is a beautiful reading. So just to wrap it up and review the reading, you're in completion. That is the overall energy of this reading. It's to validate and confirm you have completed the cycle. It's over. You can clearly discern when it's creeping back in. That's attachment. So push that back out. Remember, where focus goes, energy flows. Right now, you're on a split path. Where do you want to go? Which way do you want to go? That will come. It'll be a holy hell this way. It won't be a wishy-washy. It'll be, yes, this is the way. And so your strength right now is acceptance. Acceptance is what leads you to that prosperity and abundance that you're seeking. Your challenge right now is connecting to your intimate self, your soulmate. The third eye is open. Your spiritual, again, completion. We've got completion. We've got completion. I mean, can't get any more complete than that. And then last card, I'm going to pull a high viber. Okay, 2 of them fill out. What if statements? What if? What if I was appreciated? What if I was loved and adored? What if I felt fulfilled? What if I knew my life's purpose? Say to yourself, it is easy to vibrate at my highest level. Every day, I get better and better at it. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So you're following the call of the divine, and you're doing a great job. I love this reading. If this reading resonates, please subscribe, like, share. It's an honor to be here.